be exactly what you want to be without all of the fear around you. We have to stand up together.
Good morning, B2X. We are traveling. We're on the road. And so we've got the GoBox Studio, which we're going to do a little video of how we set this all up. But this is the best I can do for a microphone. I know everybody's super used to my beautiful studio. But we are in Naples, Florida. Great. Good morning, Christopher Kaysen. As usual, let me know where you're at. We happen to be in Naples, Florida this morning, having a great cup of coffee. Beautiful Airbnb. Having a great time. We came down here. There's going to be, I wish I could talk more about it, but we came down. There's some cool stuff, but we're going to be doing a press release very, very, very shortly on some really cool stuff that we are and have been working on. And this was the culmination of that and an acceleration of that. I know it sounds a little cryptic, but at the end of the day, we're going to release it. So the point of it is that my wife and I, and my company and our company, we travel around, we're doing deals. I know we come here, we do this podcast called Built to Exit, talking about the sell side, right? The sell side of the selling of your business. And there's very few sell side advocates that are out there. This is, for those of you that are new to the show, welcome. By the way, my name is Jason Sisneros. This is the B2X Built to Exit podcast. And, but I know a lot of new people are starting to get the show and to join in with us. So I want to always throw something at the beginning so you understand where you are and what this show is about. It is for business owners. If you're thinking about building a business, if you are running a side hustle, if you are starting to build your business, if you are 10 years into it, if you're a third generation, if this is your second or third business, the general idea is, as you come into the show, is that you are building your company to exit. That's the best first place for you to get to as a knowledge place in your brain. And for you to start that long journey of owning a business. And so that's what we talk about here is that journey. Lots of different places along the way. And also to let you know, like, who am I listening to? Well, I have bought and sold multitudes of my own companies. And we talk about three types of exits. The first type of exit is an involuntary exit. And that is where 95% of people that start a business, that's where they end up, which is an involuntary failure. They go out of business. 95% of companies don't see their 10th birthday. So we don't want to have an involuntary business. So the structure, the core, the ongoing, the knowledge, the optimizing what you have in your business, that's step number one, so that you have something that is sustainable. Okay. Once it's sustainable, now you can move to a place where somebody can buy the predictability of it, right? The exit of your business. And I say, everybody exits, how it matters. And so the first part is you don't want to have an involuntary exit. The other side of that is a little bit more morose, right? We've had to help companies in the past that the main breadwinner in the family passed away and left a mess, right? Because that person was the only one that knew how to run the business, where all of the invoices and the taxes and all that other kind of stuff. You don't want to leave your family a mess, okay? That's involuntary. Second one is dictated. You have an exit, but it's dictated. You're coming to the table with not as much information. You're coming to the table, like imagine going into a car dealership and you're going in, you buy 7 to 14 cars in your entire lifetime, and that salesperson that's sitting across from you sells 30 a month. They're far more prepared. They've heard everything. They've seen everything. And so you're going to the table, in most cases, with your first sale of your business, and you're not going to be prepared. This is why we have this sell side advocacy. The Built to Exit is to get you prepped for that, for you to understand and know how to arm yourself in that first conversation, because a dictated exit is almost as bad in some cases as an involuntary exit, because dictated means the other side of the table is dictating all the terms. They come in, they do due diligence, and they spread that due diligence out over a long amount of time if they know what they're doing. The other side of the dictated exit is that you sit across the table from a complete and total idiot that just went through some I'm an acquisitions expert seminar out there, or read a book about it worse. And you don't know that. You don't know the vetting process to be able to say, am I dealing with a professional, or am I dealing with one of these new, I know how to buy businesses because I went to a seminar somewhere type of people. So as you're going through this, the dictated exit means that you're gonna, the timing can be dragged out, the price you're probably not gonna get, the amount of money that they're promising you probably isn't gonna materialize, and then they're gonna pay you in small chunks. You're basically gonna finance the sale or the purchase of your own business. That's dictated. You don't want that. What we talk about and focus on here is the custom tailored exit. That's when you are educated enough to understand how to put a team around you, the right team, the smart team, the right pieces along the way, and not a team that's going to take advantage of and suck out all the value of your sale, but a team that's going to advantage you. But you are dictating those terms, right? The sign of a successful business, in my mind, and this is after years and years and years of being in business and multitudes, being around the world, having a lot of conversations, but the sign of a truly successful business is when the business owner or the business owner group controls the pricing, the timing, and the terms of the exit. That's when you know you've had a successful business. So that's what this show is about. I am Jason Sisneros, and this is Built to Exit. So I wanted to jump right in here. So this last week, I like to talk about things that are topical and then relate them back into what is going on. And one of the things that happened this week, around Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, if you know anything about the stock market, if you're following anything politically, was that we have this big tariff war going on. And again, this isn't a political statement, Republicans, Democrats. If that's the conversation that you want to have on this show, you're at the wrong place, because yes, I have a political opinion. Yes, I have a political position, but ultimately, for the individuals that are watching this, for you, the most important thing is controlling your sovereignty. And the way that you control your sovereignty, obviously, is that you decided to own your own business. That is the ultimate act of rebellion, right? To say, I'm not going to be controlled by a business, another business owner to dictate my time and all the other things I'm doing. I'm not going to work for the government so they can dictate my time and how much I'm worth. I am going to plant my flag. I'm going to go build my own business, and I'm going to do things according to the world of state your name, right? So the idea is that we want to know things here politically that are going to impact us, right? There's a set of rules that you can run your business on. We call it the foundation. It's a built to exit system that we build on. There's a set of things that you optimize every possible aspect of your business that you can control. Now, the other side of that, the outside of that, means that there's a lot of things that are going to happen that you can't control. A 9/11, a COVID, this tariff war, whatever the things are that are going on in the marketplace, you can't control any of that. So having a well-run business, a well-structured business, helps you to react and pivot in a successful way with your own business.
Hi, my name is Jason Sisneros, founder and chairman of Built to Exit, a world-class business consulting firm that's helped hundreds of clients and thousands of business owners fix, scale, and successfully master their companies. Let me ask you a question. Are you serious about changing the direction of your business, but you don't have the funds to bring in a high-level consulting team? Well, then keep watching. We created the Built to Exit system specifically for entrepreneurs like you. Whether you're a startup trying to avoid costly mistakes or a seasoned owner stuck in a plateau or a downturn. This do-it-yourself system is your answer. Now, this course isn't easy. It's not a gimmick. It's not sugar-coated motivational feel-good fest if you know me at all. It's a graduate level masterclass built from decades of business ownership, consulting, and real-world results. If you're willing to do the work and follow the blueprint we use with companies that pay us 5 and 6 figures, you will finally have a system that gives you time freedom, financial control, and a clear path to a successful exit. So if you're serious about building a business that works with or without you, go to www.b2xsystem.com right now, because everybody exits. The only question is how.
Let's see. All right. So cool. So that's what we're going to talk about. And the title of the show is called The $5 Trillion Lesson: How the Power of Leverage Shapes Markets, Nations, and Exits. And as I was writing the show, and by the way, if you want to sign up for the show notes, just go to builttoexit.biz. Give your email address over there. I put a lot of time and research into building out these shows. A lot of valuable content that I don't and can't get into the show because of time constraints. But there's a lot of research and things that are done. So if you want to sign up for the show notes, go to builttoexit.biz and put your email address in there, and let them know you want to get signed up for the show notes. So the title is The $5 Trillion Lesson: How Power of Leverage Shapes Markets, Nations, and Exits. And again, one of the biggest lies, one of the biggest tools, once you realize, for us as small business owners and mid-sized business owners, right? Which just the title, it's 0 employees to 499. One of the biggest lies is that we're just one person, that we don't have much influence. We feel like that. You go back to 2020 when we got called non-essential. There was really nobody that stood up for us that said, bullshit, we're not non-essential. We do $18 trillion worth of the GDP that happens in this country. We do 60% of the hiring. There is absolutely nothing non-essential about the small and mid-sized company owners. And we didn't have anybody stand up for us. And if that's the case, we feel like we don't have any influence. But that's the power of what's happening in the community here with Built to Exit, is we're coming together around each other. Yes, we have an organization that can help you with some strategies. We can, do turnarounds. We can help you. We have a brokerage to help you sell your business. We have all the tools that you need along the way to prep yourself up. But most importantly, what happens with this group is that we know each other. We get to meet each other. While I'm on the road, I'm here. I'm meeting with people that are in the Built to Exit community. While we are closing, my wife and I are closing deals for ourselves on our own exits and our own acquisitions sides of things. And the conversations that happen. Right after this show, we always go straight to Twitter and we do a Spaces that's called the After Party, the B2X After Party, where the people are watching right now on Twitter, on X. And these are people that we've gotten to know. We have a conversation. We do business with each other. We ask each other questions. There's a lot of people that are graduates of my program that are in there that are advancing their case towards exit. There's people that have exited. They're just people like me, like you, that are having real world conversations. How the hell are we supposed to adapt to AI? All of the things that matter, that is the group of people that is coalesced around the Built to Exit idea. And so as these things are happening, like what happened this week on the tariffs, everybody's like, oh my God, we're heading straight into a depression. We're heading into a recession. And then you flip that right on its head and you go, oh my God, well, the next day we have the biggest advancement or the third or fourth biggest advancement in the stock market that anybody's ever seen. And then you hear, well, only 8% of the world or of the United States is invested into stock markets, so they don't really care. I did a show a while back, and as I did back in 2020, as all the COVID stuff was rolling out, I do my best to sit down, run history, run numbers, run data, so that I can make the best prediction. Remember, we own businesses. We are advising businesses at a super high level. I do this show all the time, so I want to keep abreast of the right information. I want to keep abreast of the things that could possibly impact and affect the business community. And so as we're doing that, as we're looking through and gauging all of these things, I do shows and I say, here's what I think is coming. And I did one just before the election last year. And I said, if the Democrats win, here's where I think the economy is going to go. And if the Republicans win, this is what I think is going to happen. And it's tracking exactly along with what I said had to happen. We have to flush this money out of the system. It was not, shouldn't have been there in the first place. A lot of deeper conversation. But ultimately, this is super healthy for the economy. It's every single move that's being made right now, no matter how the one side or the other is attempting to spin it, every single move is pushing power and opportunity back to small and mid-sized business owners, because I believe that the impetus is, if that community doesn't, if we don't succeed as a monolith, right? If we don't succeed, that is going to do a ton of damage to the strength of our country, to the on national security. Even if we're not self-sustaining, if we're not decentralized, if we're not supporting and lifting each other up, these types of things. And so what happened, I didn't know that it was going to happen exactly the way that it did, but we had to flush a bunch of that money out. We have to put ourselves in a stronger position. The United States is always going to be, well, I'm gonna put a caveat. I used to think that it would always be a safe place to invest in, but there's some things now we know, if certain things get put in place, that could weaken us. It's still a really great place to invest and to put your money in, for the rest of the world to invest and to be able to trust. So that is what happened this week on what happened. We flushed out a bunch of stuff out of the system. Then we strengthened our position. We paused tariffs. It was a negotiation tactic between the leader of our country. Think of it like everybody's sitting down at the table and you're negotiating the best business deal that you possibly can. And when we figured out on the other side of that, there's a strong decision that's been made. There's a strong position. Some of the strategy is starting to roll out. The next day, what happened was that was executed, and a bunch of money came. $5 trillion flowed back into the United States. Now it's in and out. But the decision that was made was that you could trust the United States, and that's going to be a great place for us to be in business throughout the world. So I want to go back in history, as I like to do, to a very similar situation, because right now there is a trade war going on. There's who's strongest, China, United States, who's China aligning themselves with, who's the United States aligning themselves with. I have no doubt the United States is going to come out on the upper side of this, because we do our best with contracts to do what's the term I'm looking for? Honest business around the world. If you've ever done business with the Chinese, you know that the contracts are typically not worth the paper that they're written on. And so I think that the other side of that, there's got to be, as we talk about with ethical capitalism, if trust is missing, you don't really have a solid business footing to stand on. And you don't have that with China. You do way more so with the United States, just because of our rule of law. So I think that's where we're going to come out on the other side. But I got to thinking back in history, there was another situation like this back in the day called the Louisiana Purchase. And back in the day, it was 1803. Napoleon was broke, right? And he needed cash for his war with Britain. And so Jefferson at the time, he wanted access to the New Orleans port, but he didn't just get that. He ended up buying 828,000 square miles that was called the Louisiana Purchase. And you can go Google it and you can see that big giant swath. And he bought that all for $15 million. That's roughly 3 cents an acre. And the point of it is, same thing with the tariffs and the same thing with your exit and the same thing with the Louisiana Purchase is, you want to put yourself in the strongest negotiating position possible. so that you can advantage yourself. Now, if you're sitting down at the table, and I want you just to think about what happened on tariffs, what happened with the Louisiana Purchase, and look at what is going to happen when you eventually sit down at the negotiating table to pass your business over to someone else who wants to purchase it. You've got to have some leverage in that conversation. You've got to be able to tell a story. You've got to be able to prove things financially. You've got to be able to control that decision. And eventually, ultimately, when you do this right, you have a pile of people that want to buy your business, and they're bumping up that number over and over and over again until somebody goes, I want it so much that they're going to pay the most possible. Okay. So
are you a business owner running hard, burning out, and still not getting ahead? I'm Jason Sisneros, founder of Built to Exit. I've bought, built, fixed, exited over 24 companies of my own. I've helped hundreds of business owners do the same. If you're listening to this podcast, you probably didn't start your business to be trapped in it. And yet, here you are, overwhelmed, underpaid, drowning in noise from fake gurus and recycled advice. Been there. Built to Exit isn't just another course. It's not a magic bullet, it's a system, a proven blueprint built from real-world experience, not theory. We help owners control the 3 things that really matter in business: price, the timing, and the terms of your exit. Whether that means more cash in your pocket now, more freedom starting today, or a full-blown exit strategy that lets you walk away on your own terms, our team knows how to get you there. So if you're done guessing, done with the excuses, and ready to win, visit builttoexit.biz today to schedule your free 15-minute strategy call with a senior advisor. We'll show you exactly where the leaks are in your business and how to fix them, because everybody exits. How you exit is the only thing that really matters. Builttoexit.biz. We play to win. Do you?
So that's what happened in Louisiana Purchase. Your business exit is a game of leverage. Okay. 90% of companies that try to sell don't. I cannot overemphasize this. Most owners wait until they're desperate. They wait till they're at the end of the like, again, Napoleon for $15 million sold the Louisiana Purchase. It's like a third of the United States, by the way, right? Like a third. and that's when most business owners get to that place. I don't want you to do that. I don't want you to wait to get to a place of desperation where you are sitting there going, oh, I really do need to sell this. Something's happened health-wise. I want to go do something else. I want to go start a charity. I want to go back, or whatever is going on in your life. You don't want to wait until it's too late. You don't want to wait until that very end for you to make a move. Start the process of getting your business built to exit, so that no matter what happens, no matter when you are ready to raise your hand and sell your business, you're ready. Everything is in place. And so you don't want to hand over the leverage to the buyer: time pressure, financial pressure, and team dysfunction. Okay. So here's your weapons. Here's the sort of teaching point of tariffs with Trump's tariffs and with the Louisiana Purchase and with your business. There's 5 things that I want you to write down. First one is time. Plan early and you set the pace. You plan early, which means, you know what, in 5 years, you sit down with your wife or your husband or your team and you say, 10 years from now, I really want to think about putting this on the market. In the next 5 years, I want to do some acquisitions. Whatever your strategy is, you want to sit down and figure out the time perspective of it. In your business, when is we call it the end game, right? When is the end game? When have you made enough money to now everything you do on the other side of that date and that amount of money that you coagulated on the other side of that, now you're free to do whatever. It's not that you're going to probably stop doing business. Most of us are hardwired to do business until the day we die. But you have a choice: what business you get into, who you do business with, what kind of contracts you take, when you want to take off work, when you can spend time with the kids, when you can spend time with your spouse, et cetera, et cetera. You're in that. There's a place in time, a line, when you step on the other side of that, now you are in control. And there's got to be a date associated to it, right? My exit that happened back in 2019, I missed by a month. I had it set up for January. It didn't happen until February. But it was that time frame. Most people miss it by years because they haven't picked that time. So the first thing you want to weapons of leverage is what we're calling these, is the time. Number two is cash flow. Buyers love healthy revenue. Building up your revenue, building up repetitive subscription-based money, contracts, long-standing contracts, upsells. There's all kinds of ways to jump into your cash flow and improve the quality of it. A lot of people are like, I sell one thing, Jason. But, well, yes, you may sell one thing, but how you sell it can be modified. It can be improved. It can be changed. You can test different things so that you can improve the quality of your cash flow. Number three, systems. Repeatable equals valuable. If whoever is looking to buy your business can't repeat them and they have to go back in and learn from the ground up about your business, it's not going to turn out well on the sales side of things. Let's see, what else? We got optionality. If you don't need to sell, you can dictate the terms. So put yourself in a place where you absolutely don't need to sell. It's not a must. It is an option for you to do that. So optionality. Number five is clarity. Know what you want, okay? Time, cash flow, systems, optionality, and clarity. Know what you want, price, timing, terms. That is the ultimate judge of whether you are a great business owner or not. And a lot of that, again, there's a long journey for you to be able to get there. But at the end of the day, that is what determines it. You being able to say at any time, anybody that you admire in business, anybody that's your mentor in business, anybody that is your neighbor in business, anybody else, just have a conversation with them and ask them, do you have the exact timing, the price, the timing, and the terms? If somebody was to sit down across from you to buy your business today, do you control those three things? 99% of the people that you talk to are going to say no. That's why we're here. I want to arm you. I want to put you in a place where you cannot be bullied. Anybody that's followed me for more than 5 seconds knows that I am extremely anti-bully. Okay, so the $5 trillion lesson we learned from Trump, the $15 million 800-acre lesson that we learned from the Louisiana Purchase, and you sitting down at the closing table with your own business. This is all of this information is around positioning. And the better you can position your business, the better you can position your cash flow, the better you can position the story, the more power you have, the more control you have. And that's really why I do this, is to make sure that you have that control. I have had involuntary exits in my life. I didn't like it. It's painful to go out of business. It's painful to have bankruptcies on your history. It's painful to come back from. It's embarrassing to come back from. It's not pleasurable to sit at a closing table and know that you are the weak link at the table, and you basically just have to take whatever they're offering you. It is a much better position to be in a custom tailored position with your business. And it always comes back to the why, right? Some of these shows are heavy on content and detailed things that you need to do, but it always comes back to your end game. You're doing this business. You started this business. You started this journey for a particular reason. I see some people making comments in here that I know are living their dreams now because they followed the built to exit system and process, because they put their why up on the board, right? That why. Here's why I'm going to go through all of the crap that business owners go through. And I know every single one of them that you go through. The sleepless nights, the wondering if you're going to make it through another day and much less another month. Wondering if, what's going to happen if you do go out of business. And if you do go out of business, what are you going to do to feed your family? I know that there's so many things, so many deep emotions that business owners go through. And all of us have a dream of our own. This isn't, one of the things I despise is you got to have the jet, and you got to have the car, and you got to have the six pack, and you got to have all of that as a determination of success. You have your own determination. You have your own description of what success is for you, and you are working your ass off with your business to be able to achieve those things. If you get caught up so much in making sure that it's going to be alive today, you don't work on your business. You don't put systems, you don't put processes, you don't reach out to an amazing community like the Built to Exit community. You don't get to know people. Just please come to the after party, the Built to Exit after party that we have on Twitter right after this, about 2 or 3 minutes after I shut everything down. We go live on Twitter in a spaces there called the Built to Exit after party. And you'll meet amazing people. We extend the conversation. Sometimes it's quick and we go about our day. Sometimes it gets really deep into a problem that one of our team members has, and we dive in and we solve it. Other times we're celebrating each other's successes. It's just a place for you to hang out that it is with people who are like you and going through all of the things that you're going through as well. So I'm going to kind of wrap up with that. I have so much respect for you if you own your own business. If you're thinking about owning your own business, have such a respect and admiration for your heart and your spirit. This is why this is my family, right? Again, we're down here in Naples, Florida, doing business of our own, non-B2X related, and we get to see B2X people. We get to hang out with, have dinners and do all the cool stuff because we do business, you're doing business, we end up doing it, crossing paths together. I don't quite know how to have a relationship with people who don't own businesses just because it's such a foreign concept to me at this point. So I need you guys in my life. I need a bigger family. I need more people to join us. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining us. Make sure to share with your friends, other people that are business owners that could use the idea of understanding the power of time, cash flow systems, optionality, and clarity. And we will wrap this up. Go to builttoexit.biz. We do have an assessment there that is worth a ton of money, but it's free for you to see where you are with your business. Gives you a gauge of the things that you can improve, et cetera, et cetera. Always you can meet with one of our strategists at the end of it to help you on your own journey and as you build to exit. So remember that everybody exits, and how you do is everything, right? How matters. So put some time, effort, energy into it. I appreciate you guys being with me today, and we'll see you again next Saturday, as usual, every single Saturday, 9 a.m. on Twitter, on wherever you have caught this live. We go like clockwork, 9 a.m. on Saturday, Eastern Standard Time, every single Saturday, and I'll see you next Saturday. God bless.